Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's wonderful to see you. Hopefully, everything is going hunky dory. Let me just check a few buttons just here to make sure. Everything is looking good. Fantastic. All right. Welcome to tonight's episode of Innovative EdTech. It is lovely to have you here with us for our very last show of 2025. I can't believe that we're up to the last episode of 2025. It has been a cracker of a year, and we have explored so much as part of Innovative EdTech in 2025. Anyway, welcome to tonight's episode, our top 10 reasons why you should share your skills online. So tonight's a little bit of a kind of lecture episode where we're going to go through and discuss some of the reasons why we think you should look at exploring, sharing how you can, share with the world the wonderful things that you know and you do each and every day. All right. So here I am with Innovative EdTech, sharing my love of EdTech with you. And I actually want to show you how you can share what you have, whether it's educational technology, whether it's leadership, well-being, whether it's peer support, whether it's related to curriculum in particular, certain teaching areas. I want you to see that you can actually go out there and be a leader in your particular area and actually sell and share your information with other educators. So let's dive into tonight's episode, get this party started, and let's see if we can finish on time tonight and see if I don't go over too much. Anyway, welcome. I'll have to do this. Welcome to tonight's episode. If you have not met before, if that doesn't make any sense, Tristan. If we have not met before, my name is Tristan Heron. Thank you so much for joining us. If we have met before, thank you so much for coming back and being part of Innovative EdTech. If we haven't met before, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. If you have met me before and you've been part of the journey, you might want to just, go and grab yourself a cuppa or something, or just wait patiently while I go through this. Anyway, my name is Tristan Heron. I am the founder and future ready teaching specialist here at Evolve EdTech. I have been part of the Evolve EdTech team since 2020. We started just before the pandemic, believe it or not. We decided to go out there and start sharing our love of EdTech. And believe it or not, a few months later, after our initial launch, our world was completely thrown up and everything changed very dramatically, and EdTech became something that was really important. And we had to become leaders and we had to become educators who knew pretty much everything about EdTech overnight. Well, I am also a fully qualified K-12 primary and high school teacher here in Australia. So that basically means that I can teach everywhere from the beginning of school all the way up to the end. So kindergarten or prep, all the way up to the end of year 12, which are our two schooling systems here in Australia, primary school and high school. I actually have majors in English and history, so I can teach English and history in a high school setting. I have predominantly taught English. I teach a little bit of history, but not a lot of that anymore. But I definitely have taught a range of students throughout my career. I have been teaching for about 13 years. I am still currently a full-time teacher, so Evolve EdTech is something that I'm doing on the side because it's a passion and interest of mine. So it is something that I am doing to support you and educators around Australia and the world so that you can actually start to become more confident with EdTech in your classroom. So that leads me on to the next point there. I love educational technology. Absolutely love it. If I didn't love it, I would not be here right now sharing with you and actually showing you what you can do with EdTech in the classroom. So my love of educational technology actually started in 2012 when I was teaching in my very first high school, and we were using Moodle. Now, Moodle back then was very new. It was something that was quite clunky and awkward, but I loved Moodle. And I remember sharing an assessment task with my year 11 business studies class and actually getting them to submit it online and returning their marks online. And I thought it was the most exciting thing in the world. So I have loved EdTech for a number of years now, and I still love EdTech, and it continues to grow. And that's why we're here at Evolve EdTech, because we want to help you have fun and enjoy using EdTech in the classroom. And we are very, very proud to announce, if you have not seen on our socials or you have not been with us for any of our other workshops, we were so lucky this year that Evolve EdTech was actually nominated, and we were successful in being awarded the Leading Teacher EdTech Training Initiative 2025 award as part of the Corporate Vision Education and Training Awards. This is a global award, and we were so excited to be part of the process, and we were so thrilled when we won this particular award. And you can see our little logo up in the top right hand corner there, which we received as part of our win. But it is just a really nice affirmation to see that people recognize that what we are doing is helping them, and it's helping people and educators all around the world. So that's a very quick introduction to me if we have not met before, but thank you so much for joining us if you have been with us before. Okay, so let's continue. All right, I'm going to have to use the mouse. So tonight, what are we going to explore in the next hour or so? All right, so tonight we are going to reflect on some of those ways and some of those reasons why you can actually help educators in meaningful and achievable ways. So why should we be sharing our knowledge and our expertise with other educators, and how can we do that? I'm then going to unpack and identify 10, that's right, 10 different ways that you can actually start sharing your skills, ideas, and experiences with other educators. All right. So I'm actually going to share 10 different ways that you can do this. All right. Because I want you to go away and start thinking about how you can actually go out there and start sharing this knowledge, this expertise, this experience with other educators around the world. All right. I want you to think big and broad. So let's see how we can start sharing with other educators. And then just to wrap up tonight, I'm just going to tell you some different ways that you can stay connected with us here at Evolve EdTech, some wonderful things that we also have on offer that you can be part of, and what you can also continue to engage with moving forward if you'd like a little bit more after tonight's episode finishes. So let's get started and jump in and have a look at some of these reasons why we should start thinking about how we can share that knowledge, those ideas, those skills that we have and we use every day with others all around the globe. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so why should you share your skills online? All right, that's what I want you to think about tonight. Why should you do this? All right, we always hear these conversations within our schools and within our communities and education systems where we need to be collegial, where we need to be sharing ideas and information. So I want you to think about how you can do this. I'm not suggesting this is just based on educational technology, which is something that I have an interest in. All right. I'm saying that anything that you have that you could share, any ideas, any wonderful things, tips, tricks, whatever you have, how can you share them, and why should you share these with other educators? So we're going to have a look at this tonight. Okay, so why should we share our skills online? All right, so as educators, we are natural sharers, all right? It is just something that happens when you start in that education system. We just love to share. We just love to, share a really great suggestion or an idea or a tip with our colleagues, whether they be new, experienced, whether they be a little bit older. We love doing that. Lessons, resources, ideas. We do this constantly. All right. And for some of us, it is just really second nature. All right. You might find something and go, oh, wow, that's a great tool. I'm going to share that with my colleagues. All right. A really great example for myself that I actually did yesterday with my wonderful colleague, Kerry. She was looking at a wonderful resource that she found on Twinkle that she was going to use with her Year 7 history class. And we weren't really sure how to actually create this particular activity that she was looking at. The instructions were, they were there, but they weren't quite as clear as what we would have hoped. So I actually thought, do you know what? I'm going to jump onto Google. I'm going to head to YouTube and see if there is a video showing us how to create this particular activity. And believe it or not, there was. So I was able to say, oh, Kerry, let's watch this video. Let's practice together. And we both practiced together, and it was wonderful. And I sent that video onto her so that she could use that with her class so that they could actually create this particular artifact that they were using in their history class. So sharing ideas, sharing information, sharing resources doesn't have to be something big and bold. It can be something that is quite simple, such as just sharing that YouTube video with Kerry so that she was able to really have the students engage with the activity that she was looking at and exploring. Okay, but what if sharing your expertise online could? What if it could help thousands of educators around the world? All right. So, that's a big statement just there. But potentially you could be helping educators from all different places, different countries, okay, with different levels of experience. There are so many different ways that you can help educators. All right. What about boosting your own confidence and professional reputation? All right, I've been doing this here at Evolve EdTech for 5 years now, and I can say that, I still do feel like a bit of a fraud sometimes. I still do get very nervous. I still make mistakes because I am a human, but it is so wonderful to still be here after 5 years. We are slowly getting better. We are starting to build that reputation. We were awarded our Corporate Vision Education and Training Award, which really shows that someone or, different educators in different places are starting to see us as somewhere that they can go to, learn new ideas, to get the tips and tricks to help them become more confident educators, especially with educational technology. But what if, sharing your expertise could actually open doors to new opportunities inside and outside the classroom? All right. Perfect example just here. And we have talked about this before, but we are starting to explore different ways that we can actually engage with you here at Evolve EdTech. We've now got our own academy, the Tech Ready Teacher Academy, which is our subscription academy, where you can come and you can actually receive, very specialized, very membership-based, exclusive type of resources that require a subscription payment to be part of. We still, of course, offer our free Innovative EdTech episodes. We definitely always provide some kind of free support because that is what we like to do here at Evolve EdTech. So maybe you could think about how sharing those ideas can actually open doors to new opportunities. And what about if those doors and those opportunities could actually inspire others to innovate, create, and grow? All right, going out there and helping other educators actually improve their practice, move one step forward, think about tomorrow and think about what our young people need in order to be successful. You could actually help inspire those educators of the future to innovate, to create, to grow, to become even better and even more efficient and effective and wonderful educators. So there's so many reasons why you should think about sharing your expertise, okay? And we are going to go through that tonight. So in tonight's episode, we are going to explore 10, okay? 10, yes, I've got 10 very powerful and kind of thought-provoking reasons why every educator, yes, that includes you, why you should consider sharing your skills, your stories, your successes, anything that you would really like to online with fellow educators. All right. So I want you to start thinking and identifying why you can do this and how you can actually do this, because I can tell you it is absolutely possible. There are so many different avenues and streams that you can take to do this. All right. Not everything needs to cost money. All right. But you can do this. Trust me, I have done it. You can do it as well. All right. So let's jump in and have a look at some of these reasons. All right. So here are our 10 reasons why I'm talking to you, why you should share your skills online. Okay. All right. Reason number one, you actually have expertise that is worth sharing. Yes, you do. Every single one of us, every single person viewing this now, or every single person who's going to watch this recording, you have some expertise that is worth sharing. You have that knowledge. Don't underestimate it. Okay. I told you, I've been here at Evolve EdTech for 5 years. I still feel nervous. I still feel like a fraud sometimes, but I still show up. I still do my best to help you become more confident and capable with using EdTech. All right. So don't underestimate yourself. You might think, oh, I've only been teaching for a little bit of time. That's okay, because I can guarantee that there is something that you do really well that you could share with other educators. Okay, so many teachers underestimate their value of their everyday practice. So there's things that we do every day. It might be that you are really great with behavior management. Maybe you're really good at setting up routines with your classroom, or you have some really great lesson started, do now type of activities. So what feels normal to you might actually be groundbreaking for somebody else. So you might actually share some knowledge, ideas, information, successes with other educators who actually go, oh my God, that makes a lot of sense. I would love to try this. So just because something is normal and simple for you doesn't mean that every other educator is going to feel the same way. I can say that about EdTech. Just because I can jump in and use an EdTech tool and do that comfortably doesn't mean every single one of my colleagues can do that. Now, sharing doesn't require perfection. Authenticity and reflection are more impactful than polish. Okay, so I've already been here tonight and I've told you that I've been doing this for 5 years now. I still make mistakes. I still have mistakes in my presentations. I will go through them, I will check them, but sometimes I still do that. I still have fumbles. I've fumbled tonight as I've slowly started to get ready and get in the zone for tonight's workshop. But has that stopped me? No. So all of the information, all of the ideas that I have here are far more important than coming in here and having a perfectly polished presentation that I'm going to deliver to you. All right. So just remember that you actually have valuable knowledge. All right. And you don't have to worry about having a perfect presentation or having a perfect recording and going and re-recording something because you stumble or you say the wrong word. No. Okay. Don't underestimate what you have up here, what you know, and how it could actually help other educators. So let's have a look at some examples. So this is going to be the structure of each of these. All right, so we're going to have a bit of a core message, look at some key takeaways, and then I'm going to give you some examples. All right, so some examples for this one. Blog posts. Blog posts are actually so super simple where you can actually share ideas with other educators and you can jump out there and you can easily very simply create your own blogs. There's lots of platforms available out there for free that you can use. So you might write some blog posts about classroom projects. Okay, so you might include some templates, you might include some stories, you might include some successes, some evidence. Okay, just making sure that we're doing the right thing, we're following any kind of code of conduct, we're not sharing student information, we're making sure that all of that is protected. But sharing those classroom projects using a blogging platform is a really good way to share that expertise. Okay. Another thing you could do is create some quick how-to videos. Okay. And you can do this really quickly using Loom, Screencastify. You can use Zoom. All right. You can use your own mobile phone to create these really quick how-to videos. Okay. They are so effective. All right. And it's something that I admit that we probably need to do more here at Evolve EdTech, but it is something that you could do quite easily. Or if you're like a social media fanatic or you're a bit good with the Instagram, you might decide to create an Instagram carousel post that shows your marking shortcuts or classroom setup. All right. So you actually get in there and have some different images, you know, some of those carousel type posts on Instagram where you're showing some of those tips, some of those tricks that you use to set up your classroom. So don't underestimate the knowledge you have, and don't think that other educators aren't interested in hearing it, because they are absolutely interested in finding out what you're doing, how they could do it, how it could make them even more efficient and effective. So you have expertise that is absolutely worth sharing, and don't underestimate that, okay? Because you are talented, you are amazing, and you have wonderful things that another educator might actually be looking for, and you might actually really make their day and help them so much more than you ever thought was possible. Okay, let's jump into tip number 2. You will help other educators. You will absolutely help other educators. So your ideas can save others time, stress, and energy. All right. You might think that that little idea, that little task, that little kind of activity routine that you have been implementing in your classroom for years is, something that's bog standard and every single person knows how to do this. But do you know what? They don't. And your idea, your tip, your trick could save another educator so much time. It could reduce their stress, and it might even increase their energy, their passion, their love, and their commitment towards their practice. All right, a couple of examples here. All right, the teaching community thrives on generosity and collaboration. We really do, okay? Yeah, not every single person is amazing when it comes to this, okay? But believe it or not, we do thrive on this generosity and collaboration. And when you share, you can actually help somebody else. You can lighten their load a little bit. All right. That might be something that they have been thinking about and looking for so long, but they haven't been able to find an example. They haven't been able to find someone that they click with. Okay. But they've actually found you, whether it's on social media, YouTube, whether it's through a blog post, but they've actually found you, and they actually have taken something positive away from something that you are doing, whether it is small or whether it is really, really big. All right, some examples here. All right, so you might upload some editable templates into a Google Drive account. Okay, you might use Canva for education, a great tool. I'm using Canva right now. I am a big Canva fan, so do not ever say anything bad about Canva to me, because I will be utterly offended. No, I won't, but I do love Canva. So there's lots of different ways that you could actually start to do that. You could even create your own Google Sites website. All right. So if you have access to Google Workspace and you're looking for your own website platform, Google Sites is a wonderful place to get started. And that is where you could start to share some of those templates. All right. I know here at Evolve EdTech that we have about 80 plus digital templates, which you can download for free from our website. So even we have these that have already been started to be created to support you, to save your time, to reduce your stress, to increase your energy. All right. So even we are doing that here at Evolve EdTech. Okay, you might have a Wakelet or a Padlet collection, which you share with your colleagues. All right. So just remember that we don't have to do this, and we don't have to, start sharing all of these with thousands of people around the world. We could start really small with just in our school or our team or our stage. We can start small. We can have a Padlet collection. We could have a Wakelet, collection full of resources that we might have for different topics or KLAs or units. Okay, so there's lots of different ways here that we could actually start to share some of these ideas using a variety of platforms. And again, you could record some short demos for your school, okay? Or even you might like to share those on your own social media platforms. So you might like to create some kind of social media platform that's dedicated to your love of education. I was trying to think of a word there and it wasn't coming out. Your love of education, your particular focus area, your interest area, and you could start to create some short demo videos or some videos with some tips and tricks and things like that. So you'll actually be surprised that you will help other educators. It might only be one or two, but you will help somebody somewhere, somehow, and believe it or not, they're going to be truly thankful that they found and stumbled potentially on what you are sharing. So you will help other educators when you start to share your knowledge, your skills, your ideas, your passion online. Okay, idea number 3. You will build a professional learning network, or a PLN. You probably heard of this particular idea before. So a professional learning network, it might only be a small network within your school or your team. It might be within your local town. It might be your state. It might be a network that is global. Okay, there are lots of global professional learning networks. If you head out there onto the socials, okay, Facebook groups, there are so many places where we can go and we can connect with other educators. So sharing our ideas, sharing our love, our passion can actually connect you with educators all over the world. Okay. I remember when we were very early on here at Evolve EdTech, I actually engaged with some sessions from a wonderful educator known as Matt Miller from Ditch That Textbook. And I attended something that he had presented, and it was about infographics. And I created this infographic, and I was so proud of this infographic. All right. I've looked back at this infographic now, and it was pretty bare and basic compared to what I could do today, but I was so proud. I remember I went out there, and I think it was on back in the day when we had Twitter, and I actually tagged Matt in that particular post, and I got a reply, and I was fangirling. Okay, I was so excited to get this reply from Matt Miller, because he's out there. He has this wonderful professional learning network that he is heavily involved with his side and what he does with Ditch That Textbook. And it was so amazing for him to actually connect with me and really praise me for what I had done. So sharing your knowledge, your skills, your ideas, your successes actually helps you connect with educators worldwide. Okay, so some of the key takeaways. A PLN gives you new ideas. It gives you feedback. It also provides you with friendships beyond those school walls. All right. So I have connected with educators all over the world. I remember a few years ago, I did a number of sessions for my wonderful friend Kim Matina on her show, The Sweet Talk. So I actually presented some sessions on that. It was wonderful. And, these people stay in your life. All right. You don't just meet them once. Even if you're only meeting them virtually through social media, they are there for you. So you actually gain a lot personally by being involved and creating professional learning networks. And learning becomes continuous, okay? Learning is something that we are always engaging with, right? It shouldn't just be confined to professional development or professional learning days. It is something that we are continuously looking at. All right. I get every single week, I get so many newsletters from other educators that I look at. I look and see what they're doing. I garner ideas. I go, oh, that's really cool. Or, oh, I forgot about that tool. So even I am realizing that learning is continuous, and it is something that we always need to remain engaged with, because there's something new that is going to be coming around. There's a new platform, there's a new idea, there's a new concept, and that professional learning network is one way that we can actually engage with that. All right, so some examples and tools. All right. Participating in any of those social media chats. Okay, so sometimes you will find there'll be a particular hashtag that might be being used at a particular point in time, and you might be required to answer some questions and use that hashtag. Okay, so that is one way that you can engage in a professional learning network from your couch, on the phone, in your jammies. Okay, so there's so many ways that we can do this that's not going to require you to be out here on a live stream presenting to lots of different people. Okay, you can easily join educator groups on Facebook. You could go to LinkedIn. Okay, there's so many different places where there are so many groups. Okay, go and have a look at those groups on Facebook. Join those groups. There are so many different groups that I've joined that I don't even remember which groups I'm part of now. But sometimes I see ideas or I see information and I go, oh, that's so amazing. That's so cool. All right. So going and joining those groups is really helpful in you being part of an active professional learning network. And it might be something that you like to develop. You might like to start your own professional learning network. Okay. Starting something as simple as a Facebook group is a great way to share your knowledge. Okay. You might use something like Threads to share reflections, engage with peers. Okay. Social media is a fantastic way to get started with building these professional learning networks, because you don't need to have a financial, input to get this set up and started, but you can actually connect with other educators. So there's so many different ways where you can be part of professional learning networks, and you can also establish your own professional learning network and share those skills, share those ideas, share that knowledge with other educators from around the world. Okay, let's go to number 4. You'll learn by teaching. Yes, you will. We are educators. We are always learning. And learning and explaining, it helps clarify your own thinking. All right. And again, I love bringing in my own examples here from Innovative EdTech, and I am going to do that right now. I know that I will sit here sometimes and I'll be presenting to you and I'll go, oh my God, that's a fantastic idea. I need to think about this and I'm going to look at this. So I did an Innovative EdTech episode earlier this year on choice boards. And believe it or not, when I was actually planning and creating some sample choice boards, I was actually thinking about other ways that we could create choice boards that were a little bit different. So even that explaining and that preparation ready to present to you clarified my own thinking and my own thought process. So even here I am as a presenter, sitting here in my office talking to you right now, I'm still thinking about how I can clarify my own thinking and how I can actually create something or do something or share something that's going to help somebody else. All right, so our key takeaways. Teaching others exposes gaps in your understanding. And this is not a bad thing, okay? We're not saying that just because you have a fumble or you forget something means that you are bad or that you aren't a professional. I want you to remember that you are a human, okay? You are a human. As I mentioned, I've made mistakes. I still make mistakes. I've made mistakes tonight. I've fumbled with words. I have got a little bit confused, confuzzled, okay? But just remember that that doesn't mean that you are absolutely awful, all right? So you look at these different ideas, you look at what you have done, and you try to make sure that that doesn't happen again in the future. So I look at this, I'll go and I'll, reflect on tonight after the episode, and I'll go, but hopefully I can take something away from this and I can start to refine my practice so that I become even better each time that I do this. All right, and just like it says here, by actually sharing our ideas, it helps us refine our systems and also our workflows. All right, so what we're doing ourselves, okay, if we've got a process to set something up or create something, we actually start to look at what we're doing so that we can refine this. All right, something that I love, again, here's another example. I do love a good Google Sheet, spreadsheet, because I like to kind of keep track of what I am doing, a tick box, so that I can actually make sure that everything is hunky-dory, it looks great, it's professional, it's all there for you, because I am very proud of what I do. All right, so actually clarifying our own ideas and thinking can help us refine our systems and workflows. Okay, some examples here. We could record some tutorials. Absolutely. This is something that is going to come up again and again and again. Recording those tutorials is fantastic in helping other educators. So using something like YouTube and YouTube Shorts, using Loom, Zoom, all of those video recording tools out there are so accessible, and they can help you record those short tutorials. They might only be 30 seconds, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Doesn't matter how long they are. Believe it or not, I can guarantee they will help someone. You might create how-to slides, okay, if you're sharing something or some professional learning internally within your school or your system, okay? So you might create something that is going to help other educators when it comes to this. And you might also think about sharing annotated examples of student work, All right. So actually showing maybe a pre-assessment and then maybe showing your students who've worked through a particular lesson or a series of lessons and the outcome of that. Obviously, just make sure that you have that permission to share that work, all right, that you're doing that ethically, you're following any code of conduct, any kind of ethical, professional obligations. Just make sure that you are also thinking about that. But believe it or not, that every time that you present and create, you will actually learn something and you will actually get better yourself. So that's another wonderful reason why actually sharing your skills online is also going to make you even better at what you're already doing. Okay, number 5, you'll show your professional growth. This is so exciting when you actually get to see how far you have come. All right, so your online sharing becomes a live portfolio of your evolution as an educator. And I can tell you, as somebody who has been doing this for nearly 5 years, okay, if I go back to my YouTube channel, and you are more than welcome to go back to my YouTube channel and go back to the very beginning and have a look at some of my very early videos. I'm definitely not saying that they are terrible, but this is back in the day when I didn't know that you had to have a camera in front of you, that I should be looking at you like you're actually in the room with me, having a good microphone, okay, having good lighting. These are things that I didn't know when I first started. I remember having my office was very different back then. It was COVID times. I had a microphone that was over here. I had a camera that was looking down on me. All right. It was a completely different setup. All right. And I wasn't here using any professional software and things like that like I am now. But, I was there. I created some content. I've got better. I've learned skills. I've learned these from other people. My good friend Sarah Cordner from the Legends Lab, she is somebody that has taught me a lot of these skills to actually see this portfolio really growing. So sharing your skills, sharing your knowledge can become a fantastic portfolio, and it's an excellent record of performance development or even leadership applications. So as I mentioned, I've actually gone back and rewatched some of my earlier videos, and do you know what? Most people would cringe. I didn't cringe because I actually went back and I actually listened and watched my videos, went back to some of my earlier podcasts, and I actually said, do you know what, Tristan? You actually know your stuff. You're not a fraud. You're not here. You actually do know your stuff. So I actually went back with a really positive mindset, and I was actually really impressed with what I had done. So this portfolio, this record can actually be something that you might be able to use in some way. And it also demonstrates reflection, initiative, innovation. I've just talked about these literally. All right. So I've gone and rewatched and re-listened to some of my work. I have, looked at this. What can I do to elevate this? And, if I look at that innovative and initiative that I've taken there, this is the Innovative EdTech episodes. We didn't have Innovative EdTech episodes before. We started these last year. This is our second year. We're going to continue into 2026. But this is our way of, regularly sharing something with you on YouTube and Facebook for free. All right. Because we want everything that we do to be accessible. And our Innovative EdTech episodes are one way that we can do this, where we can be innovative, where we can share our love of EdTech with you. All right, so some examples and tools. All right, so you might develop a digital portfolio. Google Sites is probably my favorite place to do this if you have Google Workspace, because it's free, it's drag and drop, it's very, very simple. I have an Innovative EdTech episode on Google Sites. It's about creating a resource hub, but it's the same process. So creating your own digital portfolio. And again, this is where you could be sharing some of those different resources that you might be creating. You might create a PD reflection blog, okay, or a category on your blog where you're having some reflection of your PD, okay? So maybe you have delivered a presentation, via live stream on YouTube. How did it go? What was the successes? What were some things you might work on in the future? You might not necessarily like to communicate that to the world. That might be something that you do. You might have a Google Docs. You might have a spreadsheet or something where you have some own reflection statements and reflections and think about what you have done. And you might like to post your yearly teaching highlights on Canva or LinkedIn, okay, and share those with the world, okay? So actually looking at what you have done, what you have achieved, throughout the year, and actually share those with other educators, because you'd be surprised that that could also be really inspirational for other educators around the world. So showcasing what you love, what you do, can actually help you go out there and show the world just how much you have grown professionally by sharing your skills, your ideas, your knowledge, your passion, anything that you have to share online. Okay, idea number 6. You will inspire confidence in others. Yes, you will. So when you share your ideas, others actually realize that they can do that too. So this is a theme that's kind of come across a lot of the ideas here tonight. But when you share ideas, when you share that knowledge, that passion, that information, other educators actually start to realize that they can do it too. All right, so our key takeaways here is seeing everyday educators online is more relatable than seeing corporate experts. So I would say that I am an everyday educator. I am still a teacher, okay? I still teach full time, all right? And I can say that there are days where sitting here and running Innovative EdTech is quite challenging, all right? There are time periods where I just get nothing done because I am so exhausted and so busy from actually being a teacher. But I believe that seeing that authenticity, seeing somebody who's in the classroom who can actually say, you understand what I'm doing, you understand those challenges, or you're looking at a new innovative idea, is much more relatable than someone sitting here going, I've been out of the education system for 10 years now. I have no idea what the latest syllabus, what the latest outcomes, what the latest requirements, standards are. But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to teach you and tell you what you need to do in order for this to happen. Okay, that's not relatable. We want somebody who is going to sit here, who's going to teach us, who's going to communicate to us, who is relatable. And you also normalize experimentation and growth, all right? I'm still experimenting. Believe it or not, there are still EdTech tools that I am trying for the first time. And one example of a tool that I used in 2025 was Wayground, okay? Back when it was quizzes. I used this for the very first time this year. So even I am here trying new tools, okay? I'm seeing their successes, I'm seeing their complications, or I'm seeing what I need to do to embed these more effectively in the future. So if you are here as an educator, using these tools, sharing these tips, actually embedding these practices yourself, you actually normalize these and you help these become accessible and relatable and achievable for other educators. All right, so some examples here. Before and after posts of classroom displays. Okay, so maybe you've got a very simple, let's call it a language technique, or just go back to my English roots here. We've got a language technique. We've got a simile and a definition. Boring. Maybe you get your students to use Canva to create some kind of visual display for that particular language technique that could be displayed in your classroom. So having some examples of some of those before and after photos of classroom displays, activities, artifacts, resources could be really great tools for other educators so that they can see that they can do it too. Sharing a reflection video after trying a new EdTech tool. What a great way to actually get in there and say, hey, today I played around with Google Sites in my classroom. I created a resource hub for my year 3 students so that they could go in there and they could access all of these particular tools. It worked, it didn't work. This is what I might need to think about in the future. So simple, posting that to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those tools, all of those social media platforms so that other educators can find those and see those is so simple. Here I am actually thinking, do you know what? That's not a bad idea, Tristan. Maybe next year when you're trying some new tools, you might post a couple of videos on your social channels talking about these tools, what worked, what didn't. So here I am right now inspiring myself about what I could do in 2026. You might also create some how I failed and what I learned posts. Okay, what a great blog article that would be. Okay, it doesn't always have to be a video. That could be a fantastic blog post. Okay, because I can tell you I have had many fails. All right, but I could reflect on what I learned and what I would do differently next time. So you will actually inspire confidence in others if you are relatable, if you are honest, if you are sharing things that are achievable, accessible, that are going to make a difference in another educator's life. Okay, number 7, you'll build your digital footprint. Okay, so a positive professional digital presence matters more than ever. All right, so having that digital presence is really important. All right, that's why we're here talking about this idea of sharing our ideas, sharing our knowledge and expertise online, because this is the world we live in now. Okay, we're about to enter 2026. All right, and we in a world that is far more digital than ever before. All right, we have phones, we have tablets, we have Chromebooks, we have laptops, we have the internet, we have 5G, we have everything that we need to be connected. So we need to think about how we can create a positive professional presence when it comes to sharing our ideas. So employers, students, parents, they all see that online presence as credibility, right? If you've ever gone to look for a business, right, you might see if they have a website. It's something that I go to first. Does a business or does a presenter or does an expert have a Facebook page? Yes, no. That really helps me identify their credibility. So if you want to get out there and you want to share ideas for students, okay, just because I'm telling you to share your ideas here doesn't mean it just has to be for educators. Maybe you want to create some kind of platform where you share tips for students to help them be successful. Okay, do you have a Facebook page? Do you have Instagram? Okay, what do you have to connect with your particular audience? All right, so having a look at that online presence is really important. We have, I think, a good online presence here at Evolve EdTech. We have a website, we have our YouTube channel, we have Facebook, Instagram, we have a TikTok account. Okay, we're on Blue Sky, we're on Threads. We have tried to find and connect with all the platforms as much as possible so that we can have that presence. We're not necessarily the best on all of them, but we are definitely, out there trying to create a presence, trying to develop that credibility. All right, and you control your narrative. So if you are here with your own accounts, your own online presence, you're controlling that narrative. You don't have to let Google define you. Okay, I am a big Google fan. I'm not going to lie there, but Google doesn't have to define you. Okay, you can definitely be there. You can definitely stand out from the crowd, but you have to control that narrative yourself. All right, some examples here. You might create a professional LinkedIn page. You might create some kind of digital business card. Okay, a link tree is also a really great tool to use so that you can pop that in there. We do have a link tree here at Evolve EdTech. Okay, what it is, I can't remember. I know, that's really funny. It's not funny. I really can't remember what it is, but we do have one there that we share as well. So creating some kind of digital presence using a tool like LinkedIn, a link tree, can actually be very beneficial. You might also have some collections using Wakelet. All right, Wakelet is a wonderful tool that you can use to actually start creating collections that you can share with, other educators, parents, students from all around the world. They might find it, access it, and find it really engaging and useful. So building your digital footprint in a way that you would like to build it is so important as an educator. Okay, number 8, you will gain recognition for your work. And we've talked about this one again already tonight. But do you know what? Great teaching deserves to be seen and celebrated. You deserve to be seen and celebrated, okay? So by going out there and becoming visible, that leads to the validation. That leads to your efforts being recognized and you actually realizing it's okay to be proud. It's okay to be very, very excited. All right, if I come over here, I'm going to go off screen, and I grab this This is my corporate vision award. I am very proud of this, okay, because this is not something that I ever thought that I would receive, and it was an absolute shock to me. So I am absolutely proud to actually go out there and show my award and talk about it to people. So it's okay to be proud of what you do and what you achieve. And that recognition actually inspires more sharing. So by actually seeing that somebody else has done something, somebody might be inspired, they go out there, they start their own online presence, they look at how they can share their knowledge, their expertise, their tips with others, and it can lead to a wonderful world where every educator is involved. We're inspiring each other. We've got those beautiful professional learning networks. We are there collaborating, communicating, and we are working together for the benefit of the young people that we are teaching. All right, so some different ways that you can gain recognition. Entering awards, okay, it is a fantastic way to do that. All right, so I was just very lucky. Somebody nominated me. I do not know who, or I was discovered and a nomination was shared with me. But going out there and seeing what kind of, awards might be available in your particular location. And you know what? Just have a go. It doesn't matter if you don't get shortlisted. By getting out there and having a go and actually showcasing what you do is the first step. So entering those awards, seeing how you go, taking the bad and actually moving on and actually going and getting even more passionate for what you do is such a really great way to do this. Okay, if you are using social media, tagging those companies, okay, maybe you're using Canva or Google, or you're using Wakelet or Padlet, okay, whatever you're using, it's a great idea to tag them, all right? And again, another example just here, because I do love an example, is one of our very first series that we had here at Evolve EdTech was actually on a tool that I looked at last month in Innovative EdTech, and that is Planboard. All right. And I talked about this in that Innovative EdTech episode, but I actually, I think I must have tweeted a tweet. I tagged Planboard in that tweet, and I was just saying, I'm going to create a series of videos on Planboard. And believe it or not, the next minute in my email inbox, I actually had an email from the CEO of Planboard's parent company, and he was there going, I love this idea. This is so great. We love it when educators go out there and they start to share their love and knowledge about something. We'd like to offer you a 12-month subscription for free to our platform. So I got out there, I tagged them, they recognized me, they provided me with an incentive. All right. I provided a very honest opinion. Everything that we actually put into that particular series, you can still see it on our YouTube channel. It was all 100% my perspective. I was not influenced in any particular way, but I was able to provide a really thorough outline of Planboard and have a look at the features that it offers. So tagging those EdTech companies could also be quite rewarding for you so that you can actually be recognized for what you're doing. And you might like to post classroom stories on your school website or in your newsletter, something like that. Actually sharing those with your school is wonderful, okay? So to make, today maybe we looked at using QR codes. We did an amazing race type activity around the school using QR codes and iPads or something like that. And actually sharing that with your school community is a really great way to be recognized for the wonderful things that you're doing today in your classroom. Okay, number 9, you will strengthen your credibility. Okay, yes, we've talked about this already, but believe it or not, by consistently sharing those ideas, that information, those perspectives, those successes, those failures, you will establish yourself as a trusted voice. All right, you will become a go-to educator. All right, people will actually see you as somebody that they can go to when they're having a tough time, when they need inspiration, when they're looking for ideas. Okay, so you can become a go-to educator for insights in your niche, in that particular area that you have decided to focus on when it comes to sharing your knowledge. And that credibility opens doors. Okay, you might become a mentor. You might deliver professional development. You might establish some partnerships. You might go out there and find different ways of actually sharing this knowledge beyond those traditional methods. So that credibility can actually help you turn some of these ideas potentially into your own businesses, okay, into your own futures. So some examples and tools. Publishing regular posts is fantastic if you're doing social media or you're writing blog posts. I admit I am not great at publishing blog posts here at Evolve EdTech, something that I need to work on. So even here, I am thinking about what I can do more. All right. So publishing regular posts on LinkedIn, your social channels, having your blog page is something that you might think about. Again, maybe doing some guest writing, okay? So having a look at some different types of platforms, and you can see Evolve EdTech is listed there. I'm always open to people writing guest blog posts, and we can pop them up on our blog, on our website. We can share them on our social pages, etc. And even presenting professional development, okay? Short, sharp sessions, looking at tools can actually really strengthen your credibility. Okay, and idea number 10. Okay, you'll learn new digital skills. Believe it or not, when you're here sharing online, you will actually also naturally improve your tech confidence. Okay, so here we're not just talking about technology in the classroom. We're talking about that tech that we need to use in order to share our knowledge and expertise with others, because we are going to need to use something like social media. We might need to use Google Sites. We need to use laptops, tablets. We might be using our phones. There's a whole variety of different tech that you might not necessarily be confident with, that you might need to use in order to share this knowledge and passion with others. So you will also learn to design, edit, and create engaging digital media, right? It's still something that I'm learning and still something I'm working on. All right. I look at some of our social media sometimes and I cringe, but I'm working on this and I'm trying to find things that work and engage and look good. So even I'm still learning, and I've been doing this for nearly 5 years. Okay. There are future ready skills. Okay. And these are future ready skills that you can have to enhance teaching, but also that you can incorporate and embed in your young people, in your class, your students, so that they can go out into their world and be successful. So things like using Canva for creating posts. I created some social media posts for my school using Canva this week. Okay, you might use CapCut. Descript is a fantastic tool. Descript is something that I use here at Evolve EdTech, okay? And it is a tool that we use for editing videos. You might create your own podcast. Believe it or not, it is so super simple to create your own podcast, all right? We have a couple of old podcasts here at Evolve EdTech. You can go and check those out, but it's so super simple to create your own podcast. And as you're learning these skills, you can share these with other educators, your school community, or even your students. So there we have it. There's 10 different reasons why you should share your skills online. But wait, we've got 5 more, because we love to share here at Evolve EdTech. This is going to put us over time tonight, but I do love to talk. But we've got 5 more, okay? Let's go through these really quickly, because I think these are 5 more fantastic reasons why you should share your skills online. Okay, number 11, building your personal brand. So here is where you are defining what makes your teaching or leadership unique. Who are you? Okay, and how do you want to be presented to others? So your brand is your reputation. The story you tell the world about, okay, is what is going to create who you are. All right. Here at Evolve EdTech, I am not Tristan Heron. I am Evolve EdTech. All right. I want to be known as that particular brand. I'm just Tristan Heron, the future ready teaching specialist that is part of Evolve EdTech. I'm here. I'm the face of Evolve EdTech, but Evolve EdTech is my main brand. All right. So you can focus on clarity, consistency, and authenticity. So here at Evolve EdTech, we have a logo. We have a particular set of colors that we use when it comes to our professional presentation and our personal brand so that we can have that consistency. All right. These are things that I have purchased myself. So I had paid for these. Okay. But you could easily do this with Canva and you can create a personal brand. So some examples and tools, you might choose a consistent color palette or tone. All right. So we have a color palette that we use when it comes to creating things here at Evolve EdTech. All right. So you can do that. You might decide to create a tagline that you use. So for example, future ready teaching specialist. This is something that we started using this year. That's referring to me personally. I'm Tristan Heron, the future ready teacher, that's a tongue twister when you're trying to speak, the future ready teaching specialist at Evolve EdTech. So building that brand, showcasing who you are, making it you is so important in creating something that is, again, authentic, that is going to establish that credibility, that reputation, where people actually come back to you because they engage with you and they find what you are doing to be something that is worthy of being part of. All right, number 12. Okay, this one is fantastic. Sharing your ideas online can actually help you create new income streams. Now, this one is something that I am very passionate about right now, and this comes from my work with the lovely Sarah Cordner. Okay, she is a business coach. She looks at how we can commercialize our knowledge and actually start to monetize this. So believe it or not, you can actually ethically monetize your expertise. Okay, now not everything needs to be free. All right, you are an educator, you are a human, you have knowledge. So there is nothing wrong with actually asking somebody to pay to access a template, to access a workshop, to access something that you have up here that you might have been developing for some time. So you can actually make a difference and you can actually start to earn some extra income. Monetization doesn't diminish passion. Okay, it's not saying that what you're doing is wrong and you can't share it. It actually helps sustain it, because we live in a world where we need to earn money to do things, okay? And actually monetizing our knowledge and looking at income streams can actually help you find other ways to share this knowledge efficiently and effectively. So you might share templates, you might use Etsy, you might use Gumroad, okay? You might use Teachers Pay Teachers. There's so many platforms out there where you can start to sell templates and resources. I have purchased many things from Teachers Pay Teachers, okay? So it is not something where I think that the people selling these are the worst people in the world, because I know that they are hardworking, that they are dedicated, that they are passionate, that they have created something that I'm looking for. So maybe I'm really time poor. I'm looking for some questions on a movie that we're looking at, and I find something on Teachers Pay Teachers. It's a couple of dollars. I purchase that, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. You might also like to offer micro courses, okay? You might use platforms like Teachable or Thinkific, okay? If you'd like to, you can contact me about a wonderful platform called Techmatics, which is what I use here at Evolve EdTech, okay? It is a wonderful all-in-one platform, okay? From that, it's all of my customer relationship, my emails, my social media. It's all of my online courses, okay? I do everything through Techmatics. So, if you ever join us as part of a workshop, all of the stuff that you will have will be based in my Techmatics account as part of an academy or our Evolve EdTech portal. Okay, or you might like to create a membership program, okay? And here's a little bit of a hint, a little bit of a spoiler. Keep an ear out for in 2026, because there might be something coming up where you can actually start to learn about how you can start to create some kind of membership where you can actually start to share your knowledge and expertise. So we were very lucky this year that we did launch our very own academy, our membership academy called the Tech Ready Teacher Academy. I'm going to talk about that a little bit very, very soon. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, but it is one way where I am starting to, expand my library of resources and, start to sell these to people that would like to be a part of my academy. So I am thinking about new income streams. It doesn't mean that Innovative EdTech is going anywhere. We will still have lots of free stuff, but I'm thinking about how can I commercialize and monetize what I'm doing so that I can look at my future, maybe reducing the amount of time that I am working, okay, maybe taking a couple of days off a fortnight, but also being able to ensure that I can live comfortably and I can do what I am doing right now. So creating those new income streams is something that we can absolutely do when we're an educator that is absolutely ethical and is absolutely going to really emphasize and make your passion even more obvious. Okay, number 13. Okay, building a community around your passion. Okay, so regular sharing attracts like-minded educators. So jumping in there with whatever you're doing and actually creating that community and sharing those ideas can actually help others because collaboration becomes energizing. Okay, it's not isolating. People love seeing successes. They love seeing other educators do something that they may not have thought of. All right. So jumping out there and actually sharing those ideas will help build that community around your niche, around your passion, around your knowledge, around your area of expertise. So again, starting a Facebook group. All right. We don't have a Facebook group here at Evolve EdTech. We do have a Facebook group for our academy. Okay. But we don't have a Facebook group for just our general everyday community. Might be something I think about in the future. All right. Creating social media channels. All right. As I mentioned, we have Facebook, we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Blue Sky, we have Threads. Okay. We have those social media channels there. So we've gone in, we've claimed our handle, okay, so that we've tried to keep those consistent across all of our social media channels so that anybody who's looking for us can find us. And you might also run monthly live chats, okay, or maybe live workshops like we have here, all right? So we have our Innovative EdTech workshops. They are every month, all right? They're something different. We're here. We're providing this to you for free. The recording's always available in our YouTube channel, so you can go and re-watch it or share it. But you could do something as simple as that, a live workshop, a live chat on YouTube. It doesn't have to be an hour like I have. It could just be half an hour, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. It can be completely up to you. But building that community around your passion is going to make what you are doing far more successful and so much more engaging and authentic and creative than just sitting here thinking about that. Okay, number 14. All right, you will leave a legacy. Yes, you will. So your contributions live beyond your classroom. Okay, so what you do, what you are working on in your classroom is more than just four walls. Okay, so future teachers can learn from your wisdom. Okay, so someone might stumble across your YouTube channel. They might stumble across a blog post, a Facebook post, an Instagram, a TikTok. They might stumble across something and they will learn from you. It doesn't matter if it's 12 months old. It might be 5 years old. It might be 10 years old. But somebody will probably stumble across it, find it, and actually take something away from this. Okay, so your wisdom is always going to be your wisdom. Okay, and sharing that online is going to help someone somewhere at some stage. And you can create a digital footprint of meaningful, lasting change. All right, exactly what we've just been talking about. So you can actually leave a footprint that is going to help someone somewhere at some stage. Okay, some examples here. You could create your best resources in Wakelet or Google Drive, a couple of tools that we've mentioned a few times tonight. Okay, so very simple to use so that you can create and curate those resources that you can share with others. Again, you might publish your blog posts. They might be reflective on your teaching journey. Maybe you've got something from your first year of teaching, your second, your third. You might, sustain it for 20 or 30 years. How wonderful would that be to go back and look at and reflect on and see just how much you've grown? So you will leave a legacy with every single thing that you do and create when you start to share your skills online. Okay, idea number 15. You will be reminded why you love teaching. Okay, teaching's tough. We have great days, we have bad days, we have mediocre days. But you know what? Sharing what you love can actually remind you why you love what you're doing. So sharing rekindles joy and connection in your practice. All right. I've had a very rough few years with a lot that's happened in my life professionally. I've had a lot of ups and downs. But being here and being part of Evolve EdTech and Innovative EdTech and, getting in there and trying new EdTech tools in my classroom and hearing feedback from my students actually really sparked a new passion and a newfound interest and engagement in me when I was feeling a little bit disenfranchised and disengaged with things that had happened. So being reminded why you love teaching and actually being able to share that passion and knowledge with others is a really, really fantastic way to remind you that you are actually amazing and you are actually a superstar. So reflecting on wins and growth helps combat burnout. All right. So that's something that's definitely helped me this year. Am I still maybe a little bit, unsure of what I'm going to do or where I'm going to go into my future? Yeah, I am. Okay. I've been teaching for over 13 years now, and, I don't know what's going to happen. Okay. I've got some thoughts, I'm thinking, but it's really nice to have those small wins now and actually kind of think about those when I am thinking about my future. And it's also really important to, think about your impact and purpose. Okay, so I'm here at Evolve EdTech, sharing my love of EdTech with you, and also looking at different ways that we can share our own love and our own knowledge online. Okay, so I'm thinking about how I can help you as educators so that you can also go out there and be amazing and do something different with your world. So you might have some Win Wednesday posts on social media. That's so cool. I love that idea. You might have some gratitude journals. You might have some kind of student thank yous that you have developed online. It's really nice when you receive that, gratification or that reflection from your students, but also when you get to remember and you get to think about why you love teaching and why you became a teacher in the first place. And oh, my hair. Okay, I was very, very, very easily distracted there. Okay, so there are our 15 ways. We had our 10 ways, and of course, I'm an overachiever, and I had 5 bonus tips for you there and 5 bonus reasons. So thank you for sticking with us. Let's quickly go through a couple of key takeaways to wrap up tonight's episode. I know we are over time. We are always over time because I love to talk. Okay, very quickly. Every educator has something to share. Yes, you have something that is worth sharing. All right, don't underestimate yourself. Go out there, start small, and start sharing. Okay, social media is a great way to do this using Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, okay, Blue Sky, Threads, whatever you'd like to do is a fantastic way to get out there and establish your presence as an educator. All right, so just remember that you have something that is worth sharing. Okay, key idea number 2 or key takeaway number 2, sharing builds connection and community. All right, so by going out there and sharing your knowledge, you can actually not only join a network of educators who are learning, but you can also be the creator of a network to share your knowledge with other educators, and you can start inspiring, supporting, and really gaining some momentum as part of a global push to share that knowledge and expertise with other educators. So you can start sharing and building connection and community today simply by starting to share this knowledge that you have. Visibility creates opportunity. So getting out there, showing that you are authentic, sharing that wonderful information, that passion, building that online presence, building that online portfolio, it is going to develop that visibility, which is going to create and lead to opportunities, maybe not necessarily tomorrow, maybe 5, a couple of months down the track, a couple of years, okay? But your visibility will lead to fantastic opportunities in your future. Okay, sharing helps you grow professionally and personally. All right, so getting in here and sharing that knowledge with others, inspiring them, it helps you also become better at what you're doing. It develops your confidence. All right, it helps you actually go out there and potentially help another educator who is looking for a little bit of support or guidance or ideas. You can actually do that. You can help grow yourself professionally and personally by getting out there and sharing those wonderful things that you have up here in your mind. Okay, the next one. It's about impact, not perfection. What an ironic one to stumble on. Okay, so it's about impact, not perfection. I've talked about this tonight. Okay, yes, I've got the lighting, I've got the camera, I've got the microphone, but that's taken years. Okay, that didn't happen when I first started out with Evolve EdTech. I didn't have that stuff, but now I have this equipment. Okay, I don't have thousands of followers. Right? If you're here on YouTube, at the last count, we had 303 subscribers. Would I love more subscribers? Absolutely. Okay, so it's about impact, not perfection. All right. It's going to happen. You're going to develop a following. You're going to establish a community. All right. It's going to happen. Okay. It may not happen overnight, but I can tell you, like Pantene tell us, it will happen. Okay. So get in there, start showing up, start being genuine, start sharing those ideas. And it's all about that impact, not that perfection. And our final key takeaway is that I want you to start today. Okay, well, you can start today or tomorrow. I don't mind. It's up to you. But essentially, you have an idea, you have expertise, you have knowledge, you have something that you can share. You do. I'm telling you the truth right now. There is something that you can share. So start today. One idea, one post, one step. Okay? The best way to get started is to begin. And I can tell you that is what I did. I was here in 2020 and story time again. I was sitting on my couch in Australia at summertime. And in 2020, we had some devastating bushfires. So it was absolutely horrific. The outside was just like it was apocalyptic. I was here and I thought, I'm going to start my own, kind of business. I don't know what it is. We started out as the EdTech teacher, and I thought I just want to share my love of EdTech with others. So we started creating. My very first kind of idea was actually we were going to be creating a little kind of workshop / course on Flipgrid. That was the very first thing that we looked at. I don't think it ever actually eventuated because we changed our lines and things, and then COVID. But we started something small, and then from there things started to happen. Obviously, COVID happened, so some of our tutorials were a little bit, that they were enhanced and they started to happen quicker than we expected. But we started, okay? So one idea, one post, one step is all you need to take to get started today, all right? And I'm telling you that you can do this. You can share what's up here with lots of people who are looking for this online, and you can do it today, okay? Yes, you can. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that we have gone over time, but we go over time all the time. And we didn't just share 10 reasons with you tonight. We shared 15 reasons why you should think about sharing your skills online, okay? You have the knowledge, you have the expertise, you have the passion. There is somebody out there who is looking for you. There is somebody out there that is going to take away something from what you have to share. But you have to take that step. You have to get out there. You have to share it. All right? This is something that you can do. I can't do this for you, but I can tell you that I took this step. It's scary. Absolutely. But is it rewarding? Absolutely. Am I so excited? You bet I am. And I'm so keen to see what will happen in our future. So get out there, look at what you do, look at a skill you have, look at your knowledge, and see how you can actually share that online with other educators, with students, with parents. However you want to share that knowledge, go out there and start sharing it, because you could make the absolute difference to someone, somewhere, any time of the day or night. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Woo! What an episode. All right. Let's quickly wrap this up. Thank you so much. If you'd like to stay connected with us, we would love to stay connected with you. You can head over to our website. On our website, you will find pretty much everything. You can find our upcoming events. We've got some free stuff. All kinds of things are on our website, evolveedtech.com. If you are currently joining us on YouTube, we would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. I did mention that the time of recording, we had 303 subscribers. We would love 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, can you please do that now? And make sure that you like this video, because that will help other educators start to find it. You can connect with us on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are also on Blue Sky and Threads as well, so you can go in there and find us. All right. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can email us at hello@evolveedtech.com. If you want to catch up on our previous Innovative EdTech episodes, just head over to our YouTube channel and check out the Innovative EdTech playlist. That's where you'll find all 20 episodes of the Innovative EdTech series so far. Okay, another wonderful thing that we would like to talk about, and this is absolutely 100% free, is our free digital conference, the Tech Ready Teacher Digital Conference. Our next conference is coming up in January, so we have a conference week each year where our brand new sessions are released that you can access and join the conference 365 days a year. All right, so we started the conference in 2025 and we had 10 pre-recorded sessions. And in January 2026, another 5 pre-recorded sessions are going to join the lineup. And you can go and check out what those sessions are going to be for 2026. And you can go and register and access the 2025 recordings and join for 2026 right now for absolutely free at the techreadyteacher.com. So we'd love to see you at our free digital conference. Okay, I've mentioned this already, but did you know that we now have a membership academy? Okay, so the Tech Ready Teacher Membership Academy is the ultimate teacher and educator resource for learning how to use, teach, and master EdTech confidently. So if you love EdTech and you want to grow your knowledge of EdTech, come and join us in the academy, the Tech Ready Teacher Academy. And this is why I'm saying that you should do it right now, okay? Because our foundation memberships, which are only available until the 31st of January 2026, you can join us for $49 per month for life, as long as you pay an active, as long as you remain an active subscribing member. So for $49 per month for life, as long as you remain an active subscribing member, is all that you're going to pay as part of our membership. And I can tell you the price is going up in February. So I would join right now if you want to lock in this price for life, but you only have until the 31st of January 2026 to join the academy. Okay, come and join us. We've got lots of great workshops planned that are exclusive to the academy in 2026. You'll have access to monthly digital templates. There'll be EdTech challenges. There'll be a whole suite of things for you to access as part of the academy starting in 2026. Okay, we do have a whole heap of free stuff on our website. We have some checklists, some ebooks. We have some wonderful workshops looking at Google Vids and ChatGPT. So if you'd like to find out more about those, head over to evolveedtech.com/free stuff. And that brings us to the end. We're only 23 minutes over time, which I think is really good for me. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us for the final episode of Innovative EdTech for 2025. Innovative EdTech, I haven't decided yet, might be getting a bit of a glow up. I might look at how we can make our brand at Innovative EdTech a little bit more exciting in 2026. So I'm going to think about that. But thank you so much for joining us for episode 20. It's been 2 years that we have been here sharing our knowledge with you as part of Innovative EdTech, and we will be back in 2026. Now, this year we did reduce the number of Innovative EdTech episodes to 8. I can tell you that we are going back to monthly, and that's 12 episodes in 2026. So you will catch us every month in 2026 with something. So if you haven't, again, just make sure that you subscribe to the Evolve EdTech YouTube channel, and we can't wait to see you again next year. But before we finish, if you have not had enough of me, then you are more than welcome to come and join us for our annual special Christmas program or special, the 12 Tech Tips of Christmas. Each day from the 13th to the 24th of December, we're going to share a new tip, trick, or tool with you, looking at all kinds of different things. We are so excited for the 2025 season of the 12 Tech Tips of Christmas. So you can catch those on our socials, and they will also be on our YouTube channel. So you can catch those from the 13th to the 24th of December, and you can go and check out our previous seasons on our YouTube channel. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for being part of Innovative EdTech. It is wonderful to have you. I'm going to just do this. There we go. You can look at me now. I'm all sweaty because it's quite warm here at the moment in Australia, so that's why I look a bit fuzzled. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have loved having you here. Have a great holiday period, Christmas period. Enjoy the break, no matter where you are. It's summertime here. If you're up in the Northern Hemisphere, have a wonderful, safe winter. We will catch you again, hopefully, as part of the 12 Tech Tips of Christmas. Maybe we'll see you at the Tech Ready Teacher Digital Conference. Otherwise, we will catch you in January 2026 for our next episode of Innovative EdTech. Just check out our social channels to see what our first episode for 2026 will be about. But stay safe, everybody. We will catch you again in 2026, and we can't wait to catch up again soon. Until then, everybody, be good. Have a great time. We'll see you again very soon.